This is a video we knew we had to make, but it's one of the hardest we'll ever film. Today we're going to visit the S-21 prison and the killing fields in Cambodia. We'll also share how to reach these sites from the city center and approximately how much it costs, including the entrance fees for each place. And crucially, we'll discuss how to prepare emotionally and respectfully for what you'll experience there. We've all heard the saying that those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And what happened here is a part of history we simply cannot afford to forget. This journey isn't about dark tourism, it's about the solemn act of bearing witness. We want to take you with us to understand what it feels like to stand in these places today, to feel the immense weight of a past that isn't nearly as distant as we think.
You might imagine a place like this deep in the countryside, hidden away from the world. But our journey begins right in the heart of Phnom Penh, a bustling city full of life, noise, and the chaotic energy of relentless growth. That's the first chill that runs down our spines. The place where so much death was meticulously planned isn't some remote, isolated compound. It's right here, hiding in plain sight. We pull up to a walled set of buildings that look completely, hauntingly ordinary. They look like a school, because that's exactly what it was. This was Tuol Sve Prey High School before it was given a new, horrifying name, Security Prison 21, or S-21. Before we step inside, it's crucial to understand what was happening in Cambodia between 1975 and 1979. The country was under the iron-fisted control of the Khmer Rouge, a brutal regime led by Pol Pot. Their goal was to force Cambodia into becoming a totally agrarian, classless society. To achieve this twisted utopia, they abolished money, religion, and all private property. They emptied the cities, marching millions of people into the countryside to work themselves to death in vast labor camps. They targeted anyone they considered an intellectual: doctors, teachers, artists, even people who simply wore glasses. In the end, an estimated 1.7 to 2 million people died from execution, starvation, overwork, or disease. That's nearly a quarter of the entire country's population. S-21 was one of nearly 200 security centers established across Cambodia, but it served as the central hub for torture and interrogation. After paying the entrance fee, just a few dollars, visitors can choose between a guided tour or an audio device for the same cost. We opted for the audio guide, which allowed us to move through the site at our own pace and absorb the stories in silence. It's a small handheld device that's about to become our solemn narrator for the day. The woman who hands it to us does so with a quiet reverence, a look that wordlessly communicates, "You need this to truly understand." The moment we step through the gates, the vibrant city noise just dissolves. The air inside the courtyard feels heavy, motionless, and thick with unspoken history. The grounds are surprisingly calm, with neatly trimmed grass and fragrant frangipani trees. But that peaceful surface is immediately shattered by the buildings themselves. You can't miss the endless rows of rusted barbed wire wrapped around the concrete balconies. It's not just on the outer walls, it's layered over every single opening, creating a cage within a cage. The reason for it was grimly practical: to stop prisoners, driven to absolute despair by torture, from jumping to end their own lives. They weren't allowed to die until the regime was finished with them.
We walk into the first building, and the rooms are sparse, desolate, except for a single rusted metal bed frame in the middle of each one. On the wall above it, there's a large black and white photo showing the room exactly as it was found when the Vietnamese army liberated the city in 1979. The photo shows the last victim discovered in that very room, often still shackled to the bed, their body a final testament to the unimaginable torture they endured. It's one thing to read about these horrors. It's another thing entirely to stand in a classroom that was turned into a dedicated torture cell. The weight of all that suffering is just overwhelming. The silence in here is total and profound. Everyone is walking slowly, faces grim, all of us lost in our own thoughts but connected by this shared feeling of disbelief and shock. Prisoners were accused of being spies for the CIA, the KGB, or Vietnam. The accusations were almost always completely fabricated. The goal was never the truth. It was to create a paper trail of betrayal that justified the regime's spiraling paranoia and its constant bloody purges. In the next building, the horror only intensifies. The upper floors have been divided into hundreds of tiny, roughly built cells. Some are crude brick, barely big enough for a person to lie down in. Others are made of wood, even smaller, stacked on top of each other like animal cages. You can still see the dark, indelible stains on the floor, the desperate scratch marks on the walls. The audio guide plays the voice of a survivor, one of the very few who made it out of S-21 alive. He describes the suffocating heat, the constant cries from other cells, and the pure, paralyzing terror of hearing footsteps stop at his door. But for us, what's most haunting about S-21 is found in the final buildings. Here, the walls are covered from floor to ceiling with thousands of black and white portraits. These are the mugshots taken of every single prisoner when they arrived. The Khmer Rouge were meticulous, bureaucratic record keepers. Every man, woman, and child who came through these gates was photographed and their biography documented before they were systematically destroyed. We just stand there and look into their eyes. We see men, women, children. Some stare back with defiance, some with utter confusion, but so many just have this look of pure, soul-crushing terror, as if they already knew their fate. We see a young mother clutching her baby, both of them tagged with a number. We see old men who look like they've lived 1,000 years, only for their lives to end here. We scan the faces, row after endless row, and then the audio guide delivers the final, crushing blow. Of the estimated 17,000 to 20,000 people imprisoned here, there were only about a dozen known survivors. Almost every single face staring back at us belonged to someone who was tortured and then sent to their death. These weren't statistics, they were people. And the scale of that loss, so clinically documented in these pictures, is just impossible to wrap your head around.
Leaving S-21 feels like breaking the surface after being held underwater. The sunlight is too bright, city sounds too jarring. In the back of a tuk-tuk, the wind is a welcome distraction, but the images from the prison persist. We're on our way to Choeung, the killing fields, a 30-minute drive into the green countryside. As we drive, we recall the audio guide's explanation. Prisoners made this same trip, packed into trucks, hands tied, usually at night, told they were moving to a new home. The regime's final, cruel lie. They were going to their graves. As our tuk-tuk rattles, we imagine their terror and confusion on this path, a journey from prison hell to the brutal end. We're not just leaving a place, we're heading towards the systematic cruelty's logical conclusion.
The entrance to the Choeung Genocidal Center is strangely, unnervingly peaceful. If you didn't know the history, you'd think it was just a quiet park. It used to be a long-gone orchard and a Chinese cemetery, and the land still holds this serene, rural beauty. Birds are chirping in the trees, a gentle breeze rustles the leaves, and that profound peace is exactly what makes this place so deeply disturbing. It's the most jarring contrast imaginable to the horror this ground has soaked up. Once again, the audio guide is essential. We follow a path that takes us from one marked spot to the next. The narrator's voice is the only thing filling the silence, as every visitor walks with headphones on, lost together in a private, shared state of mourning. The first stops point to dips in the earth, grassy hollows you'd barely notice otherwise. These are the mass graves. The guide explains that they've discovered over 129 of them here. As we walk, we start seeing tiny fragments of bone and scraps of clothing working their way to the surface of the paths, pushed up by the seasonal rains. There are small signs asking you to stay on the walkways, a sharp, gut-wrenching reminder that you are walking on a cemetery where the dead haven't been allowed to truly rest. One of the most infamous stops is a large, gnarled tree known simply as the killing tree. The audio guide explains in a chillingly, matter-of-fact tone that this is where executioners murdered babies and young children. They would swing them against the trunk of this tree, often forcing their mothers to watch before they too were killed. It was a calculated method to destroy entire families, to ensure that no children would grow up to seek revenge. We just stand there, staring at the tree, feeling a cold, hollow sickness in our stomachs. There are no words for the kind of evil that happened on this spot. The absolute silence from everyone else around us says it all. We are all witnesses to something that language simply can't hold. The Khmer Rouge were cruelly efficient. Bullets were expensive, so they were rarely used for executions. The guide describes how most of the people brought here from S-21 were bludgeoned to death with whatever was on hand. Iron bars, cart axles, even the sharp serrated edges of sugar palm fronds. To cover up the sounds of the killing and the cries of the victims, huge speakers were hung in the trees, blasting loud revolutionary songs into the night. It's a detail so diabolical it's hard to fully process.
The path through the fields leads to one final, unforgettable stop, the Memorial Stupa. It's a tall, white Buddhist monument built to honor the victims and house their remains. As you get closer, you see what's behind the clear glass walls. Thousands upon thousands of human skulls. They are arranged neatly on shelves, stacked 17 levels high, and categorized by age and gender. On the lower levels, you can see the direct, brutal evidence of the execution methods. Skulls are shattered, caved in, or pierced with gaping holes from a hammer, an axe, or a sharpened bamboo stick. Seeing all of those skulls all at once is the moment the abstract scale of the atrocity becomes terrifyingly real. It's a visceral, undeniable confirmation of everything you've heard. These aren't numbers in a history book. These were people, each with a life and a story. The sheer volume of it is breathtaking in the worst way imaginable. Standing before this tower of bone feels like staring into the abyss of what humans are capable of. This isn't just a memorial. It's an irrefutable warning. This is what happens when ideology and hatred are allowed to run completely unchecked. The silence here is heavier than anywhere else. People take off their hats, some are quietly crying, others just stare, their faces etched with a sorrow too deep for tears. This stupa exists so that no one can ever deny what happened here.
Leaving Choeung Ek, we feel drained, completely and utterly empty. The day has been a journey through the absolute darkest parts of human history. There's an overwhelming sadness, a deep collective ache for the lives that were so brutally stolen. But underneath all that sadness, another feeling is starting to surface. A profound gratitude. Gratitude for our own lives, for peace, for the simple freedoms that these people were so horrifically denied. Visiting these sites is incredibly difficult, but we believe it's necessary. You don't come here looking for closure, because for a tragedy this massive, there isn't any. You come here to understand. You come to bear witness to the victims' stories, and to ensure they aren't forgotten. And what's truly remarkable is the resilience of the Cambodian people. After living through this unimaginable nightmare, they have slowly and painstakingly rebuilt their country. The streets of Phnom Penh are now filled with a new generation, full of energy and hope, building a future on the foundations of a deeply painful past. An experience like this changes us. It forces us to confront genocide not as some abstract concept, but as a series of choices made by individuals that led to the murder of millions. It hardens our belief in the absolute necessity of remembering. We have to learn this history. We have to sit with the discomfort and the sorrow. Because the stories of the people who died in these fields and in that prison are a permanent reminder of our shared duty to stand against hatred, to fight for justice, and to protect human dignity, wherever and whenever it's threatened.
When visiting these sites, there are a few transportation options, and we'll highlight the two most convenient ones. If you prefer a guided group tour, you can easily book one online through platforms like Klook. The cost is around $15 per person, covering round-trip transport from your hotel in central Phnom Penh to both locations. Keep in mind that entrance fees are not included in this price. For those who value flexibility and independence, taking a tuk-tuk is an excellent alternative, and it's the option we chose. It allows you to explore at your own pace, stop when you like, and enjoy a more personal experience. It's also much more affordable. Instead of paying $30 for two people on a bus tour, we spent only $10 total for both of us on a tuk-tuk round trip. Booking is quick and easy. There's no need to negotiate or plan ahead. Just open the Grab app, request a tuk-tuk, and one will arrive within minutes. Once you finish your visit, simply use the same app to book a ride to your next stop or back to your hotel. Some travelers worry about the distance or road conditions, but the ride is actually comfortable and straightforward. As you can see in this video, the roads are smooth and well maintained, making the trip easy and pleasant. As for entrance fees, Tuol Genocide Museum, S-21, costs $10, including the audio guide. Choeung Genocidal Center costs $6, also with the audio guide. It's highly recommended to get the audio devices. They offer powerful stories, historical details, and survivor testimonies that help you understand the places more deeply. Visiting both sites in a single day is quite manageable, about 4 hours in total, with roughly 2 hours at each location if you use the audio guides. Lastly, take a moment to mentally and emotionally prepare before your visit. These are not ordinary tourist spots, they are memorials to immense human suffering and resilience. Go with respect and reflection, allow yourself moments of silence, and remember that this experience is about honoring the victims and understanding Cambodia's past. It's moving, sobering, and deeply meaningful. Visiting these sites is tough, but we believe it's an essential part of understanding Cambodia and a crucial lesson in human history. If you've been here, or if this story has moved you, please share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. Let's create a space for remembrance and make sure these stories and the warnings they hold are never, ever forgotten. Thank you for bearing witness with us today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the corresponding video on your screen for more engaging content. Explore our channel for even more exciting videos. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Globe Gazette for more amazing stories. We value your support. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.